Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So Sombra has been released and now we're all trying to learn how to play her well. So far the general reaction seems to be that she is strong and has a very high skill cap, but she isn't really the OP hero that we thought she would be. The initial reaction to a new hero being released seems to always be that they're a bit too overpowered and overall way too strong. But now with the Sombra hype started to die down a little bit, we've had a closer look at her abilities, synergies and combos, and have put together some things that all players should know about when starting to learn Sombra.
So let's just get this out there straight away. Hacking health packs is pretty much the strongest part of playing Sombra. It's incredibly good as it only takes 1 second to have them hacked for 60 seconds straight. During this time the enemy cannot use the hacked health pack at all, and at the same time the health pack will respawn roughly 4 times faster than it normally does. This is huge, and what is also important to keep in mind is the fact that you can have an unlimited amount of health packs hacked at the same time. And by the time the 12-second cooldown is over, you should have found another health pack to hack. It's also worth noting that it is pretty much never worth hacking enemy heroes. If you take any damage when trying to hack an enemy, the hack is cancelled. This makes it very hard to hack enemy heroes, especially very mobile ones, as you only have a 15-meter range for your hack. If you hack them though, the hack lasts for 6 seconds on any hero, but is also quite likely to get Sombra killed in the process. Sure, it only takes 1 second to hack an enemy hero, but you expose yourself a lot and the enemy are bound to notice. A good way to go about hacking instead is a simple ability routine or rotation almost that I like to use. You can hack a health pack, throw down a translocator, go invis, find and kill an enemy, and then translocate back to the first health pack. If that's a big one as well, that's even better, because it will definitely have respawned by the time you're back. The smaller ones will have done that as well of course, but won't have brought you back up to full health necessarily. You can even find a new health pack after getting that kill on that enemy, and sort of move between the health packs, using them as temporary bases, so to say. It's an interesting playstyle, and Sombra is definitely a hero that plays very differently in comparison to all the others.
Next up are some simple translocator tips and just general information. This ability will land on the floor and not stick to walls, but it can be thrown like a normal grenade and then teleported to. It can be used mid-air, which allows for a lot of unexpected and quick movement. And because of this, it can not only be used for a very reliable escape similar to Tracer's recall, but also just for quick maneuvers. In general, you should try and go sideways when using it rather than backwards and forwards from the direction that the enemy is approaching you. A natural reaction for looking for a recall in Tracer, for example, is looking for where the enemy initially came from. But the Translocator lasts for quite a while, meaning that you can appear in some very unexpected spots. Just remember that once you have thrown the Translocator, you have to either wait for 15 seconds for the Translocator to time out, or teleport to it and then throw another one. You can't cancel a thrown Translocator, so be careful with where you place it.
Now let's talk Sombra's weapon, the so-called machine pistol. This weapon kind of feels like Tracer's pulse pistol to some degree, except they only have one. This is basically reflected in DPS as well, with a max non-headshot DPS of 240 for the pulse pistols and 120 for the machine pistol. Sombra's weapon does have a slightly smaller spread though, and does better on range compared to the pulse pistols as well. The problem here though is that Sombra's weapon is not nearly as good as some of the other offense characters' weapons. It doesn't really burst and kill quickly, but yeah, of course it still has some strengths. This puts her in an interesting spot though, and has made a lot of people look at her as a sort of specialist hero rather than another damage dealer. The damage drop-off being similar to Soldier's pulse rifle does help though, and Sombra is far from worthless in terms of dealing damage. She's just a bit different.
One of Sombra's most discussed abilities is her Thermoptic Camo, also known as Invisibility, Stealth or just Invis. This ability is what a lot of people didn't really want to see in the game and thought would make Sombra an incredibly strong hero, but there are some things to keep in mind when using it. The Stealth ability gives you a speed boost that increases your normal speed by 50% and of course makes you invisible. This lasts for 6 seconds including the in and out fade. However, the main issue for Sombra is that she becomes visible again as soon as she takes some damage or uses an offensive ability. The Translocator can still be teleported to and thrown, and you can still reload your weapon without losing invisibility. This means that the stealth cannot be used as a reliable escape at all really, especially if the enemy are throwing a lot of damage in your area, but it is perfect for scouting, initiating fights and hacking health packs around the map.
That's most of our Sombra tips that we think everyone should be aware of though. We're still learning and finding out what works and what doesn't, so let us know how you get along too in the comments below. I find the most difficult thing to get used to being the weapon actually, and the fact that you can't really use invisibility as an escape at all. It's gonna be interesting to see how Sombra shakes up the meta and pace of the game, alongside other PTR changes that might make it to the live version of the game. We'll have a video coming out soon talking more about that in detail, so stay tuned and share some Sombra tips in the comments below if you feel like it.
And that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what kind of questions that you may have about Sombra that you would like us to talk about in terms of counters, what map she's good at, and how overall she will be played. We'll be sure to do a quick start guide very soon, so do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Thanks again for watching, take care, we'll see you next time.